Welcome to Ride and Shotgun Podcast.
Welcome.
Where have we been today, Oliver?
Today, we've been actually with one of our corporate clients. Really good client. Been done multiple shoots over the past few months. And I think, like we were just speaking about, it's really shown me how big businesses
Yes.
really put effort into the planning stage of everything.
And I definitely think it's something small businesses can take.
100%.
Because we have worked with a few small businesses who the prep isn't exactly on point compared to the bigger boys. So you really can tell the difference when the prep is done correctly. Because you could have an 8-hour shoot with the bigger guys and get 4 videos done. But you could have an 8-hour shoot with someone whose prep isn't great. And you could only get 1 video done.
Oh, definitely. That's the thing. And we try and hold clients' hands and do as much prep as we can, but it is a two-way street when it comes to managing people,
100%.
managing gear, managing expectations as well.
Yeah.
So for like this client, we're doing 6 locations.
Yeah.
Over 6 separate shoots, full-day shoots.
All over England, really, isn't it?
Yeah, traveling miles for this.
Yeah.
But they're gonna get 1, maybe 2, 3 to 4 minute videos out of it.
Yeah.
But what they are going to get out of it is a properly produced, properly thought about.
Yeah.
Like they're going to hit the target market exactly with what they want to do.
It just goes to show, like you say, you're getting a 4-minute video, but we're doing 6 shoots, and they're all 8-hour shoots minimum.
Which is very different to the other kind of shoots that we do.
Yeah.
Like each client has their own needs. So we do sometimes go to shoots where we're there for 6-7 hours and you might get 25-30 videos out of it.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between having what this client wants is a massive recruitment campaign, in depth about the company, lots of interviews, or very short form TikTok, YouTube short content.
Yeah. But no, yeah, it was a great day.
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed it.
Super smooth.
Yeah. So what's been going on in the world?
Well, the first thing I wanted to talk about is I was minding my own business on YouTube the other day, and
As you do. We're doing like a wormhole or whatever it is.
Oh, no, it wasn't a 3 a.m.
Nah.
about how the Asian about the Egyptian pyramids. We went down that rabbit
Finding
hole.
out how the shovel came to be.
Yeah, no,
Like 45-minute documentary.
we weren't there yet. What we was doing is I had an ad come up. It was about the French Women's World Cup. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have.
It was class.
Phenomenal.
So for anyone that hasn't seen it, it's essentially promoting the Women's World Cup. But the first 30 seconds to a minute is almost your football highlights of the men's French national team.
Yeah, so you got like Mbappe.
Yeah, like all the big names, the highlights, scoring goals, whatever. And then about 30 seconds, 45 seconds in, it shows you that it was actually the women's football team all along, but they were just AI'd over.
But I've shown this to a lot of people, and they've all said the same thing, that you watch the first half thinking, this is solid football.
Yeah, what's going on here? I'm just watching.
You're just watching the men's team.
Yeah.
And actually, it's a women's team. And what it goes to show is why isn't it being watched as much? Like, 100% it's all world class.
Well, it's like you say, you're sitting there and you're watching it and you're thinking, this is world class football.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that in society, if it showed you the women first, some people would sit there and think this isn't world class football.
Oh.
But because they were almost faked to be the men, everyone was clapping their hands and praising it.
Yeah. But what it also does is it shows how scary AI video editing is at the moment.
Well, it leads into the next topic. We wanted to talk about Photoshop a bit.
Yeah.
And the new updates.
So that whole generative fill, I don't know if I know we've used it quite a bit recently. And it's absolutely crazy what it can do in terms of removing objects, but also creating scenes.
Yeah.
So we've used it with client projects where you've had, say, someone in the middle, and I've had to regenerate the rest of the photo to make it fill the screen.
It's like I was going to say, like, you brought it up, but you touched on it there. It has endless possibility. You can do anything, and you might think, oh, it's in Photoshop, it's image generation, but like you were saying there, there was a video released about somebody who basically filmed themselves on like a blank wall.
Yeah.
Took a still image, took it into Photoshop, created a whole scene.
Yeah.
Took it back into Premiere Pro, and all of a sudden they're in this sort of luxury apartment, but really they filmed in a room the size of a cupboard.
Yeah. So literally, this takes like filming on set and in actual scenes. So that was previously just reserved for Hollywood, or you needed a whole green screen setup. It was a right faff.
Yeah.
But now you can just do these scenes in your living room.
Mm-hmm.
Like super easy.
It's like, think about podcasts now. You could literally set up a couch on a grey wall or a white wall.
Yep.
And you can take it into Photoshop and create an entire podcast studio.
Yeah, create whatever scene you want.
And it's perfect for budget studios.
Yeah, and I think if I was going to set up a podcast studio now, that would be one of the offerings that I'd give out. So I'd be like, look, here's your chair, fairly nondescript. Looks nice, but not going to set the world alight. But here's the 10, 50, 200 scenes that you can choose from.
Yeah.
And place your own logos and all of that stuff.
100%. It's a game changer. And it's not just still images. You know,
No.
As long as your subject and the subject's background isn't moving, the opportunity is endless.
I think this is all moving so quickly.
Oh, it is.
Video isn't going to be far off. I know a company called Runway. They're doing AI videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're cool. They're pieces of art. It's only 4 seconds at a time. You'll never pass it off as an actual human, but you can still generate 4 seconds of video by pure text, which is still crazy.
Yeah, but you've also got to think, it's not all that AI's work. Depending on the human using the AI, depends on what you'll get out of it. You could generate an image of a truck, but if you put a certain command in, the truck might be higher quality.
Definitely.
And it really does depend on the human. So yeah, the AI is very powerful. If you have no idea what you're doing,
I think, especially when using even just things like ChatGPT, prompts are key to actually getting what you want out of it.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, enough of AI. I think AI is everywhere these days.
We could talk about AI.
Yeah, we could talk about AI for hours. But did you see that Declan Rice moved to Arsenal?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was good. Anyway,
moving on.
Yeah, moving on from that. Something has come out about TikTok ads.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we all know that TikTok is a great way to promote brands. Everyone's been doing it for the past year. Drop shipping websites, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You could essentially get free. It is easy free promotion, really, isn't it?
I've seen people do tens of thousands within like days.
Literally.
It's mad.
But they do have a TikTok ad system, a lot like Facebook.
Right.
And they've recently just released an app which allows you to research and go in depth into other people's ads. You can see who posted them, the revenue they spent, the duration of it, when they posted it, how long they ran the ad for, the ad itself. But it basically means you can find a company similar to your own that's done TikTok ads correct and basically mimic it.
Yeah.
The exact times they posted, similar style ad, the money they pumped into it, and it's literally becoming so easy.
I think this is great news for those people who are struggling with their ads, new to TikTok ads, new to advertising in general. It's going to give them a great head start.
100%.
But it's really bad news for those people who are doing well in TikTok ads, have actually nailed it, have got track record, because it's going to kind of standardize the market. Someone's going to do really well,
yes,
and then get copied, but that's advertising. Like, you look all the way back to the 60s, someone puts out a stellar ad, everyone copies it, then you have to think of the new thing.
Yeah. And it's always the person who did it first that got the traction.
100%. Yeah.
Now, in today's society, you could come across a video with 1,000 likes, but you could then recreate that video and get 1 million likes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who did it first. It's who marketed it the best.
Yes.
Which
And
is
that's a sad point, that if you're in your bedroom selling, I don't know, shoe boxes,
Yeah.
candles, like, you're not going to have the budget
Literally.
to, like, you could have had the perfect advert, but not have the budget to actually get it anywhere.
But then
And then-
flip that on its head.
Mm.
You could do a lot of research into a product, realize that product is soon to blow up. But then what you could do is you could find an account on TikTok who's doing it already,
Jump on the bandwagon.
jump on the bandwagon,
Yeah.
and take all the traction from them, and it comes onto you. And all you've done is literally copy that person.
It's worth it.
So yeah, if you're a company, a small company, or if you're trying to run ads, maybe having a look into TikTok.
I think TikTok's still being slept on by so
100%.
many people. Like,
100%.
businesses, like, those that are on it are doing very, very well.
Yeah.
Those that aren't, need to have a look into it.
It was like for us, we're going to be posting 2 to 3 clips a day on our TikTok from these podcasts.
Solid. Go check out the TikTok, by the way.
Have a little pop-up, maybe, yeah.
Friday shop on Polly.
But yeah, we're going to have multiple clips a day posted on our TikTok. So maybe looking into TikTok ads could be right up our alley now. You never know. But yeah, so that's what TikTok's been up to.
Yeah, what have you got next on the little?
Yeah,
little
you were telling me earlier something about the first iPhone.
Yeah.
About in an auction.
Yeah, I heard about that the other day. I think it was very recently, actually. The news that the original iPhone,
Yeah,
so the iPhone 1, the silver one with like the black bar at the bottom on the back.
yeah. I had a button.
Yeah.
Kids these days don't understand. They used to have buttons.
Yeah, where you actually had to click a button, not just swipe up. That is just sold privately for £145,000.
Jesus,
Like,
it's insane, isn't it?
absolutely mad. And I get it. It's a part of history. It's not about the phone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you can buy an iPhone 1 that someone's had in their back drawer. That phone drawer that you always have
Yeah.
with like an old USB cable and stuff. There's some sellotape, but you can buy one of those, I'm sure, for like 20 quid.
Yeah.
But this one was pristine, in the box, in the cellophane.
Yeah. And it will never ever see the light of day, that phone.
Yeah.
That phone will never, it will stay in that cellophane until it goes into the wrong hands.
It's an investment.
Um,
And then someone like a Farmer Bro will buy it and make a phone call on it, and that'll be
job
the
done.
investment gone.
Literally 145 grand. He probably bought that for about 70 quid
Oh,
when it first released.
back in the day.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine that? You buy it for 70 quid,
And hold on to it, sell it for 145 grand.
however many years later.
What was it? 16 years.
That's a
So-
big. That's a bigger investment than like stocks. That is.
Bad
Like,
return on the investment.
he knew what he was doing in the moment.
Like that's akin to like Bitcoin
Yeah.
kind of level of investment.
Yeah.
But fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Talking about investments.
Oh yeah, made some dodgy ones.
Well, you do. But yeah, Threads recently came out. I wanted to touch on Threads a little bit and get your opinion on it. I haven't really spoken too much about it with you, but I wanted to get your opinion on it because I think we do have two different opinions.
See, I'm of the opinion that I've never been a massive Twitter fan.
Oh, I love Twitter.
You love Twitter.
I love Twitter.
I think I do like Elon Musk.
Yes.
So I'm not like a fanboy, but I appreciate what he's done.
Yeah.
He's made some good calls. But I'm not exactly a fan of what he's done with Twitter. And I'm still waiting
can
for that
agree.
moment when he turns it around and actually does something good with it, which I'm still waiting to see. And I think Threads has come at a very pivotal moment for him
Yeah.
to kind of take all those people that are jumping off Twitter and looking for something else.
Well, I think Threads has been out long enough. It's been a few weeks now, isn't it?
a couple of weeks.
It did a little flyby. I think we've given it a long enough time to see how it lives up.
But it broke the record, didn't it, for
It did.
the first 100 million users?
Yeah, in a certain
Did it in
24
48
hours or something,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
24, 48 hours.
Which is mad. But then it is a bit skewed because you go on Instagram and it's
Yes.
right in your face. It sort of makes you kind of do it.
Yeah.
But if anyone that doesn't know what Threads is, it is literally Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg's version of Twitter.
It's
Everything.
Twitter.
Yeah, everything about it is Twitter.
I remember me and a colleague, when Threads very first came out, held up the dark version of Twitter and Threads next to each other.
Yeah.
And they are identical. Like,
But yeah, no, go on.
but what will be interesting will be very, very, very similar apps, but the user base. So I think at the moment, Twitter, there's a lot of kind of hatred and stuff going around on it.
Yeah,
But Threads, for me, seems a lot more
business.
positive business environment. So it'll be interesting to see how that holds up, how long it holds up.
But it's like the problem. I said from the beginning. I spoke to a few people, and I said from the start, I don't think it will live a long, healthy life.
Yeah.
I don't think that's my opinion. But it is very difficult to clone a social media in like today, and it to go well. There is no social media today that's thriving that has copied something else, unless it's, counterpart that it's copied has died.
Oh,
For example, Vine musically is now TikTok.
Yep.
It died. It revived. Someone else came along, basically did it better, and here it is today.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what Mark Zuckerberg is jumping on here.
Yeah.
So people are jumping off Twitter, and there was nothing out there that's similar to it. Like, you're not going to go on Instagram, TikTok is not the same.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, if that's dying, let's create something that people can jump onto.
Yeah. Well,
I think the main topic today was it for, unless you got any more news.
no, I think that's pretty much it. Apart from Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk's fight still pending in the Coliseum.
Pending.
Apart from that, I think we're good to move on.
I'm sure we'll see a tweet or a thread about that at some point.
Or a thread.
Yeah.
Look, it's catching on already.
It's catching on. We can't have Twitter threads,
Yes.
but we'll
very
cross over that. So yeah, what was the big main thing that we had for today?
Seeing as this is, the first of many, we always want the listener, you, to go away with something, and rather than just what's happening, we always want you to go away and feeling like you've learned something and that you've benefited from sitting down for half an hour and listening to us. So I think today we wanted to talk a little bit about the reason you need to be focusing on your YouTube thumbnails.
Don't sleep on it.
Now, a lot of you might be sitting here thinking, oh, it's just an image. The video is more important. But actually, in reality, if you don't have a good YouTube thumbnail, nobody is going to see your video.
No. And this also stands for Instagram thumbnail.
It's not
kind of
just YouTube
that you're going to see.
It's just that, you have your title card on all of your short form content.
All of that.
And you need to bear in mind that you have YouTube long form thumbnails, but when you search for a video on YouTube, you scroll down and it promotes shorts.
Yep.
Which means you need to have a good title card on your short form.
100%.
So
what for you, if you could pick out three things, what for you makes a really, really eye-catching, watchable thumbnail?
Okay, so the three main things you need to think about when you're making a thumbnail.
Yeah.
The first one is you need to make sure that you are telling the entire story of your video in one frame.
A bit like, I think somebody who does this absolutely perfectly is Mr. Beast.
Oh,
He almost doesn't need a title.
you talk about a thumbnail and you think about Mr. Beast.
He's perfected it. You look at it and you know exactly what the video is going to be about, exactly what's going to be happening.
Oh yeah.
And means no words, but as well, what he doesn't do is clickbait.
Oh, 100%.
Like, what he shows you genuinely happens, or is going to happen.
And then I think the second thing is don't overcrowd your thumbnail.
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, if your video is you scuba diving,
Yep.
your thumbnail shouldn't be you just sitting on the beach in your scuba diving gear ready to go. Your thumbnail, for example, should be you in the ocean surrounded by fish.
Yep.
Because what that does is it helps build curiosity, and if your viewers getting curious, they click because they want to know more.
100%.
That's the biggest advice I could give anyone is it leads back to the first point of telling the story. It needs to build curiosity for the viewer.
Yeah.
If it doesn't do that, they won't click.
No. And it also, like you said, don't overcrowd it, because you're going to be viewing it on what could be a tiny mobile phone.
And like you say, most users will be on a phone.
Yeah.
Most users will be viewing your video on a phone.
Yeah, so it has to immediately say what it is, what they're going to expect.
Yeah. And finally, my third point is, I know it's really hard, but stop using so much text.
Yes.
2 words is the ideal. If you obviously, in some cases, it's better to use other words. And an example I'm going to give you for this is if you're interviewing Elon Musk.
Yep.
You could, you could have in your thumbnail his face on the right with 4 or 5 words.
Like a quote from him.
Yeah,
if
like
he
a
says
quote.
Something that you're like, that's going to grab people.
And then that will make your viewer want to click to see the answer to that quote or the reason he said that quote.
Yes.
However, if you're doing anything else, 2 words at most.
Yeah.
At most. Because you see so many people, they might be doing a YouTube tutorial on how to do this, and they'll put on the thumbnail, they'll put how to and it's like, you don't need that. That's what the title's for.
That's what your title's for, that's what your description's for, that's what your tags are for.
Yeah, 100%.
Use all of that stuff to actually get your video noticed. Your thumbnail should be distilled down to just how eye-catching and storytelling can you get that across.
So just to run that down, we've got don't overclutter your thumbnails.
Yep.
Tell the story of your video through the thumbnail.
Yep.
And do not clickbait your thumbnail.
Yes.
Do those 3 things.
Text.
Yeah, that comes in with
That's overcluttering.
Yeah, that comes in with overcluttering. Like, don't have a picture of your entire family, including 10 buildings, 8 bits of text. It looks messy. It's not going to catch anyone's eye.
No. But I agree. Don't clickbait.
And don't clickbait, because if you clickbait, you're not going to build a happy audience. People are going to click your video that it looks like you're being eaten by a shark.
Yeah.
And in the first 30 seconds, they're going to realise this isn't happening. They're going to click off. So there's no point.
You might get an initial boost of views. People aren't going to hang around, and then people aren't going to watch your next video. And run after that, and you're going to kill your channel.
Yeah, and like you say, we'll talk about this on a different episode, but watch time is currently the biggest, the most important part of the YouTube ad.
Well, watch time is directly linked to your ad revenue, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you're, I've got 10,000 views, but all of them have watched for 5 seconds and then clicked on. You're not going to get any money. Not that it's about money, but you're not going to get any ad revenue. No one's going to actually then subscribe. So you're getting all these views and you're getting no benefit.
From a creator point of view, nobody's watching your stuff.
Yeah.
You put all that effort into 10 minutes of video. Yeah. That people watch the first 10 seconds and click off because you've either clickbaited or done something.
Well, so now that we've given my best tips, I just thought I would run down exactly the best way. If you might be wondering how to actually make a thumbnail. And there's many ways you can do it. You can do it for free, you can do it paid, whatever. But for paid services, I would highly recommend using Photoshop.
Yes.
Highly, highly recommend. Spend some time learning Photoshop, and that way, as time goes on, you'll get better and better and better.
Photoshop is just a solid piece of software to
know,
to understand, and
especially if you're a content creator.
Definitely.
The second option is you can always pay someone to do it for you. They're called thumb makers. You can always pay someone to do it for you. But your final option, if you want to do it for free, is you can use a service called Canva, which is
solid.
it's very solid. It's basically like the free version of thumbnail of Photoshop.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think with Canva, there's definitely like watch a bunch of YouTube tutorials because it looks easy. It looks so simple,
Yeah.
but what people can create with it
Yeah.
is absolutely crazy.
it is dead simple. My nan could use it. It's dead simple. You know,
And it
you ain't
comes
going to
with-
worry about how am I going to use this. All you got to worry about is your thumbnail.
And it comes with templates,
Oh.
all of that kind of stuff.
It's all of it.
So easy.
But yeah, so I think
Yeah.
we're pretty much good.
That sounds like that's a
See, if
good
you-
set of tips. But the thing is, this is coming from someone who, how many thumbnails have you created?
500 plus.
Yeah. Like,
I've made
over various different
niches.
niches and everything.
My fair share of thumbnails.
Yeah.
So
So you
Take it from
kind of
me.
know what works, so hopefully.
yeah. So I just can't stress enough the importance of the thumbnail on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Focus on your thumbnail. Think about your thumbnail before you've even made your video.
Mm.
Because there's no point spending all this money and all this time on making a video and then you realize, oh, the thumbnail's not going to be good for this video. So you spend all this time and money and nobody watches it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think if you're going to take anything away from today is really spend some time, watch some tutorials on how to make a good YouTube thumbnail and spend some time and maybe even invest some money
Yeah. Or
into your thumbnails.
just learn. Like, learn or get someone else to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let me know. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything for today.
Nice. No, that's been a good trip, but it looks like, according to the sat nav, we're pretty much home.
That's
So I
pretty
think
cool.
it's- Yeah.
The timing on that, eh?
Good timing. So I think it's time for us to sign off
Yes.
and see you on the next one.
Yeah, see